Sometimes God is trying to prepare you for something, and he's trying to get your attention. And if we're not paying attention because we're so focused on our own to-dos, our own to-do list, or our own habits, usually it's the habits and the things that control us, the things that we do when we're not really thinking. It's like if you're driving the same route to work every single day, you're not really thinking about it. But if somebody pulls out in front of you, all of a sudden your conscious mind, you stop and you're like, whoa, what happened? How did I even get here? What's going on? It's like we're just on autopilot most of the time. And God's trying to get our attention, because he might have something different for us. He might have something bigger for us, something new, something that really we're yearning for on the inside, like that. We're desiring something new, but we're so busy with our life that we're not noticing. For years, I feel like God was trying to get my attention, but I was so caught up in my own things that all of a sudden I had to get to like rock bottom with my spending and my marriage and my constant pursuit of trying to, buy every trendy thing, every influencer buy, every Amazon gadget, until my house was packed and my closets were packed, and I'd be sitting in my car like, what am I doing? Wasting so much time returning things because of all this impulse shopping. I had to get to a really honest place and really get to the point where God was like, okay, do I have your attention now? And I remember like really pleading with him, like, why am I like this? Like, help me. I'm ready for something different. And I felt a really gentle nudging, like almost like a humorous thing, where he's like, well, I'm not the one keeping you here. Like, you can change whenever you want. Like, are you ready? Are you ready for something better? He always wants to bring us up and out of pits. He always wants to bring us up and out of destructive cycles or patterns that aren't serving us. And just habitual things that we might have carried from our past or our childhood. He wants to bring us to a higher level. He reaches down and pulls you up and out. And when I got to that point where I was ready, man, things happened so fast. It was like, okay, here's your opportunity, because I've been trying to get your attention for years and you never accepted. You kind of always did your own thing. And now that you're ready, it was like, boom, 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 take it or leave it. Are you going to go forward, or are you going to stay in the same cycles and the same habits and the same life? Because this is your chance. This is what you've been asking for. And when things started moving, man, it happened so quick, so fast. And we went through a really big squeeze. And I remember and a lot of things fell apart too. Like, things just went all over the place. And I just thought, gosh, what's happening? Should I have stayed? It was like when the Israelites were free from slavery. Should I have stayed in Egypt? Should I have stayed being a slave? Or do I take the promised land? And the promised land, it was there the whole time. They had to grow their faith to take it. Like, it took so long to grow the faith. And that's what God wants to do, is grow our faith. So we're more dependent on him. So we walk with him in our life. And when we went through this squeeze, I felt God telling me, like, I'm giving you what you're asking for, but you're not ready. So I need to prepare you in such a quick way. And so all of these things happened where we were required to build our character. We were required to make some decisions. There was no turning back. Like, the ship had burned. Even if I was like, oh, I want to go back to that safe little life, that I had, where, even if everything was, not as it should be, at least I was happy, and it was like, nope, there is no turning back. You asked for this. And I was required to make changes in my life and in my marriage and in my family. It's a blessing, because when you go to a place that you've never been, you're learning skills you've never done. You're stumbling as you're moving. You're learning and you're growing. But you know what? You're only getting the turbulence because you're reaching higher levels. If you were on the ground, you're not. It's safe, So if it's bumpy, what you got to watch out for is who's around you. Are those people poking at you and pointing at you and telling you, see, I told you, you should have just stayed down there. You should have just stayed behind. Why do you have to go for more? Why do you have to be climbing? The turbulence is to be expected. Get rid of those people if they're going to talk down to you or poke and point because you're struggling as you're growing. That's part of the deal. Get around the people that are encouraging you to keep moving and to keep growing, because those people, they know what it's like. You always want to learn from people who have what you want. Don't listen to the people who don't have what you want. Be willing to pause and lean into what God's trying to teach you. He wants our hearts, and He wants to grow our character. He wants to grow our faith. He wants a life of us being dependent on Him. Normally, when you're living outside of your comfort zone, you're leaning on someone or something more. You're trusting in God more, because when you can do it on your own, it doesn't take any faith. You're doing it on your own. You got it all figured out. Your plans, you're this, you're that. You got your income from steady job and all of these things. But what good is all of that? Life is meant to be lived, and God wants to take you on an adventure. He wants to use you in so many different ways. So you have to be willing to ungrip a little bit and let go and move forward with faith and expectancy for the life that He has for you. This is your race to run. He wants you to lean into your gifts and run your race.